Crazy Daisy doesn't faze me, but Harry Cherry, very scary. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Hi, guys, and thank you for tuning in to WTFRUreading.com. I'm Frishawn, and you are on my carport. I'm out here today because I read a book that defied even my writing skills, and I had to come out here so that I could verbally explain to you this book. It's called Brutal Youth, and it's by Anthony Breznican. And it's been released by St. Martin's Press. This book is quite the literary quandary for me because on one end, I love this book. I love the way that the book was written. I love the characters. I love the fact that they are fully fleshed out. I love the fact that, no descriptive stone is left unturned. This is a beautifully written book. The thing, however, that pissed me off, yes, I did. I said piss me off about this book is what it is about. Because it's about a school where basically the inmates are running the asylum. And yes, I said inmates because these people are crazy. Okay? The school is called St. Michael's. And St. Michael's used to be the cream of the crop. Everybody wanted to go to St. Michael's. It was a good school, private school, upstanding Catholic school. But it has fallen on, let's just say, hard times as of late. So they're scrambling, trying to get everybody that they can get. And they get these poor freshmen named Noah Stein, Peter Davidic, and Lorelei. I can't think of Lorelei's last name. But the thing that makes these freshmen so important is that the majority of the story is told in their point of view. And the thing that makes their point of view so important is that these students, along with the entire freshman class at St. Michael's, are being systematically abused, yes, I said abused, by the upperclassmen, the seniors in particular, who have been indoctrinated with the belief, as Catholic schools often do, indoctrination, not this particular belief, but I digress. Anyway, I went to Catholic school. But there is a tradition at this school where the seniors get to systematically abuse the freshmen. And it is done, quote unquote, all in good fun. But hazing them. And it is, acknowledged as hazing by the officials in this book. The principal, the priest, the counselor who, I can't stand her, but we'll get into that later. Everybody acknowledges the fact that this is not, just good-natured fun here, that there is hazing going on. To the point where it drives somebody to, in the prologue, climb on the roof and push down gargoyles in an attempt to take out people in the parking lot. So that is basically the gist of this book. That this is a year in the lives of these people where they are, as freshmen, systematically abused by the seniors, and the staff either turns a blind eye to it. In the case of Sister Maria, is too busy with their own problems. In the case of Father Mercedes, and yes, he is a priest, and yes, his name is Mercedes, or helps. In the case of Miss Bromine, who is a bitch that I cannot stand, because she's one of these people who should never be around anybody under the age of 21 ever in her life. Ever. That is the thing about this book that kind of gets under my skin, because it inspires in its readers about 2 or 3 emotions. The first one of which is pity for the freshmen, because you want to, go scoop up every one of the little lambs and run off to Montessori school with them real quick, where they can have lunch and express their feelings and get naps. The second one is that you hate everybody else in the book. You hate them because everybody else is just pouncing on the weak, defenseless, poor little freshman. And it's like, okay, where's the cavalry? Who's gonna save anybody? What, and it just goes on for so long that it's like, okay, when is this gonna stop? When is this gonna stop? And that is where my problem comes in, because the story is great. Yes, it is. And to a certain extent, it still goes on now, and it's still very true, unfortunately, not to this proportion, but it still does go on. But the torture just goes on and on and on and on and on and on for page and page and page. And then at the end, it's like, okay. But that was my problem with this book. That was the only problem that I had with this book, was the fact that everything went on and on and on and on and on and on. And then there wasn't really a resolution to it. There wasn't any cavalry. Nobody came in guns blazing and said, okay, stop it, whatever. It was just a look at what happens when bullying and degradation and everything that we tell our kids not to do becomes not only an institution, but a sanctioned institution within a small paradigm, okay? And I don't recommend this book to people who have bullying as a trigger, because it's just chock full of it. I do recommend this book to people who are looking for a literary goldmine that deals with issues that are a little bit hard to stomach and very, 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 very un-PC. Voodoo Youth, I'm going to tell you right now, is not a book that's for everybody. But it is a book for people who are willing to look at some pretty nasty truths about human nature with an open mind, and a good throwing arm, because there are going to be some times when you're going to want to throw this book across the room. You will, of course, want to go back and pick it up later, but you are going to want to throw it across the room a couple of times. So it's for that reason that I give Brutal Youth by Anthony Breznican 4 stars, way up. This is a great book, and this is Frishawn from WTF Are You Reading saying bye-bye till next time, and thank you for tuning in.